Taken TV is making TV watchable again. Join us on the Active Kingdom Entertainment Network. Download Taken TV from your App Store now.
Hi, I'm Joe Sweeney. I founded the Acervo Project in response to the growing epidemic of human trafficking and child exploitation. Classifying this as an epidemic is an understatement. Our investigation teams and cyber analysts are tracking child predators every day. We're making a difference, but we need your help. The average age of a trafficked child is just 14 years old. Will you join the Acervo Project team? Donate $14 a month to protect the next at-risk 14-year-old. Pledge your $14 a month at theacervoproject.org. That's ASSERVO.org.
My employees and I are excited to announce it's our 20th.
You're watching Lindell TV. Lindell TV is pleased to present the Sentinel Report with your host, Alex Newman. Alex has written for a wide array of publications in the United States and abroad. He currently serves as a contributor to Epoch Times and foreign correspondent and senior editor for the New American magazine. Alex is the author of several books and has been a guest on countless radio and television programs and is a much sought-after conference speaker. Alex is best known for his reporting and research that has exposed the dangers and agenda of globalism. As the father of 5 children, Alex is working to defend faith, family, and freedoms from the hostile philosophies and ideas that are contrary to the Bible and the United States Constitution. And now, here is your host, Alex Newman.
Sentinel Report. I'm your host, Alex Newman. Thank you so much for joining us on this beautiful day that the Lord has made. I'm back from South Carolina. That was fun. Had a couple of speaking events there in Myrtle Beach and also Somerville, just outside Charleston. It was wonderful. The Republican women and John Birch Society. Great people. That was fascinating. If I saw you there, great. Also, folks, coming up this weekend, actually, if you're anywhere near Dallas, I will be participating in a major event there put on by Reggie Littlejohn. You can find the flyer on my Twitter. I may post it up tomorrow, but it's going to be great. Attorney General Ken Paxton will be there. Reggie Littlejohn will be there. Lots of great Americans will be there. And then also the Red Pill Expo is coming up. If you go to redpillexpo.org, I even have a promo code. I don't have it with me, but I'll give it to you tomorrow. I'll be in Des Moines, Iowa this weekend speaking about something important, the weaponization of religion. And so we'll start today like we do every day with a verse out of the Bible, Philippians chapter 4, verse 8. It says, "Finally, brothers and sisters, whatever is true, whatever is honorable, whatever is right, whatever is pure, whatever is lovely, whatever is commendable, if there is in any excellence and if anything worthy of praise, think about these things." And it's a good reminder in these days. It's so easy to just get caught up in thinking about all the horrors around us. And we will have some terrible things to talk about today, but it's important to talk about them. But, we do want to keep our minds on true and godly and beautiful things for our own sakes and for God's sake. We don't have too much news for you today because we have such a special guest. We're going to skip most of our news segment, but we do have one big breaking item involving election fraud, and I know everybody in the country with a brain is concerned about election fraud. But before we get there, folks, preparewithsentinel.com, the world and our country are changing so rapidly in so many ways. It almost feels like things are spinning out of control. It's not natural disasters, it's political or economic disasters, and it seems like nobody knows what is next. Well, bottom line, folks, you need to be prepared for anything that happens. If you go to preparewithsentinel.com, you can get prepared. And, folks, this is not a movie, right? You're not going to get a warning or a heads up like, hey, bad things are coming your way. There's going to be a riot in your city. A hurricane is going to knock out your power for 2 weeks. You're typically not going to get a warning as crazy things happen. Hey, your dollar lost 70% of its value, and we can't afford to import any more cheap junk from China. Right? So you never know what could happen. The power went out, right? All kinds of things. And you need to be prepared so that you're ready at a moment's notice without having to get into a FEMA food line. And that's why I'm working with My Patriot Supply, the nation's biggest and best supplier of long-term emergency storable food. You can get huge discounts. You get 25% off. That's their biggest savings yet if you go to preparewithsentinel.com, and that's on their 3-month emergency food kit. I personally recommend at least one of those for every member of your family. That'll get you through at least 3 months worth of hard times. if and when they come. And, again, the way things are going, you never know how soon that could be. Again, this is the biggest discount they offer. It doesn't come along every day. 25% off only at preparewithsentinel.com. Preparewithsentinel.com. You even get free shipping. They'll send it to your house in an unmarked package, but only through preparewithsentinel.com. All right, folks, I promise you we had just one big news item for today before we get to our guest, and this is huge. A newly released law enforcement report from Michigan unveils something really, really concerning involving alleged voter fraud. And, of course, it involves the Joe Biden 2020 presidential campaign and some of the other usual suspects. Now, folks, this was an operation that was working in multiple states. You can see the police report right here. And so after a raid, Michigan authorities found caches of prepaid gift cards, firearms with silencers, disposable burner phones, and more. This is just incredible, folks. Now, a little bit of background before we go further. These Democratic election committees received more than $4 million. Okay, $4 million from these Democratic election committees. The Biden campaign gave almost $500,000 to this entity. Democratic senatorial campaign gave $2.1 million. DNC Services Corp, another $1 million, and then the Democratic Party of Iowa, almost $500,000. And this investigation started after somebody in Muskegon, Michigan, a clerk, noticed that one person was depositing something like 10,000 completed voter registration applications at a city office. Not just once, right? This was on October 8th. That's where this got started. Not just once, but multiple times. And he came back again, registered another 2,500 votes. Now, maybe there's a perfectly innocent explanation for this. I can't imagine where this guy got, 12,000 or more voter registration applications. I can't imagine maybe there's an illegitimate excuse. I don't know. It'd be interesting to find out what happens here. But folks, a lot of these registrations had identical handwriting, fraudulent addresses, and fraudulent phone numbers. A lot of the signatures on there did not match those on file with the Michigan Secretary of State. And of course, as you know, Michigan is dealing with a incredibly corrupt rogue governor, tyrant, incredibly corrupt state attorney, an anti-Christian bigot, more determined to persecute Christians and persecute people who don't obey their illegal COVID decrees than anything else. And folks, we've seen this before, right? We've seen this over and over and over again. You remember Acorn, right? Acorn, yeah, that Acorn. They had 500,000 members, more than 1,200 chapters across the country. And they were busted, not just trying to help James O'Keefe provide abortions to underground or undercover, an undercover individual who claimed to have child sex slaves from Central America. They were going to help with that. They also got busted with massive voter fraud operations, just incredible across multiple states, folks. And it looks like we're dealing with that again, right? These organizations don't die. They just kind of go away and then come back in new form with new names. So I want to know what's going on here. I'm thankful to the Gateway Pundit for making this police report available to the public. This is something that needs to be pursued. And in fact, I've interviewed multiple sheriffs in Michigan, in Wisconsin, in Kansas, in Texas, in Virginia, who all have seen stuff similar to this. And actually, one of the sheriffs I interviewed in Michigan said he recommended to the state attorney general criminal charges, and those never came, of course. So we've got some really, really serious problems going on here, folks. We've got to get into this in more depth. We're going to go to a break real quick, and we're going to come back and have an extended segment with our guest, Thomas Hampson. He's the founder of the Truth Alliance Foundation. He's been an investigator for more than 50 years, starting as an intelligence analyst for the military, and then later focusing on child trafficking and other horrific things. So stay with us. We'll have much more right after this break.
You're watching Lindell TV.
Are you worried about spike proteins and how they may impact your health? Are you looking for help? The Wellness Company has an answer in the form of our clean, pure, all-natural spike formula developed by experts like Dr. Peter McCullough. The Wellness Company's spike formula includes the incredible nattokinase, dandelion root, black sativa extract, green tea, and Irish sea moss. Even better, the spike formula by the Wellness Company is vegan, gluten-free, and made right here in the U.S., so you know that you can trust and rely on it if you're concerned about spike proteins. Buying American-made, natural ingredients of this quality separately will cost you over $100. Our spike formula is only $65.99. Get Spike Formula today by going to twc.health. Sentinel Report users use the code Newman at checkout for an additional discount. Go to twc.health, promo code Newman, and get peace of mind if you are concerned about spike protein.
My employees and I are excited to announce it's our 20th anniversary, and to celebrate, we're bringing you a limited edition MyPillow. The Giza Elegance MyPillow is made with the most amazing cotton, 2-inch pipe gusset, comes in 4 custom loft levels, and it's machine washable and dryable.
When I got my pillow, I'm asleep almost immediately. I stay asleep at night and I wake up more well-rested in the morning.
My patented fill adjusts to your exact individual needs and helps keep your neck supported and aligned. That's why we've been around for 20 years, because MyPillow works.
Go to MyPillow.com or call the number on your screen. Use your promo code to get your limited edition 20th anniversary MyPillow queen size. Retails for $69.98, now only $19.98. That's right, only $19.98.
With my 60-day money-back guarantee, you have nothing to lose. Sleep well, America!
Are you concerned about your child's education? Are you considering removing your children from the failing public schools? Greater Than I Ministries can help by giving you 15% off our Thinking Like a Christian Biblical Worldview video series and a free Home Educator's Kit as a bonus for your purchase. This powerful video series will thoroughly equip you and your family with the truth that you need to fight the battle of ideas warring against our families. And our free Home Educator's Kit will instantly connect you with the resources you need to take control of your child's education. Just go to gtimin.com and click the Buy Now button at the top. Choose the DVD or the streaming version. Then enter the promo code Newman at the checkout for your 15% discount. That's gtimin.com. Click the Buy Now button at the top, choose the format you wish, and enter the promo code Newman at the checkout to receive our free Home Educator's Kit and 15% off our Thinking Like a Christian Worldview video series. You'll be glad you did.
Here's the news, Dad.
Is it, son? Is it?
What about this one, Dad?
Nope. It's hard to tell what's real and what's fake these days. There's just too much baloney out there. At the New American, they cut through the baloney and give me the truth.
Visit thenewamerican.com today. Use the promo code Newman to get $10 off the price of a print subscription.
Welcome back to the Sentinel Report. I'm your host, Alex Newman. Folks, we have a very special guest joining us today. His name is Thomas Hampson. He's the founder of the Truth Alliance Foundation. And like I said earlier, he's been an investigator for over 50 years. He started off as an intelligence analyst at the U.S. Air Force. During the Vietnam War, he became an investigator and later the chief investigator for the Legislative Investigating Commission, known as the Illinois Crime Investigating Commission. The primary focus of that agency was organized crime and official misconduct, but he organized extensive undercover operations on drugs, other organized crime and related investigations. He also spent 2 years undercover in the KKK, just a fascinating law enforcement background. He has done some really good pieces for the Illinois Family Institute. I write regularly for the Illinois Family Institute. I think the world of what they are doing there. And Thomas had some great pieces there. Now, during his tenure with the state, one of the many operations he directed was an 8-year investigation into the sexual exploitation of children, including commercial sex trafficking and child pornography. It remains the most extensive law enforcement investigation on this topic ever done in the United States. And so after he left employment in the state of Illinois, he founded this international investigation agency that specialized in conducting complex civil and criminal investigations. Many of the investigations he conducted actually went after sex predators. In 2006, he was hired by the Illinois Department of Children and Family Services to conduct a 1.5-year investigation into the sexual exploitation of children by priests in Illinois. And again, in 2009, he founded this great organization, the Truth Alliance Foundation. It's a nonprofit dedicated to finding better ways and more effective ways of protecting children from child sexual abuse and sexual exploitation. Thomas, welcome to the program. Thank you so much for joining us. It's an honor to have you. I enjoyed thoroughly what you wrote about for the Illinois Family Institute. Now, the thing that struck me the most, you say that the vast majority of the child sex stuff is not actually they're going out and kidnapping kids off the street, but there's different mechanisms whereby they lure these children into this kind of trap. Talk a little bit about how they obtain children and procure children for these horrors.
Well, most of the kids who have been who wind up being involved in sex trafficking, who are trafficked by others, have been sexually abused early in their life, so they've already been desensitized to sexual activity. Many of the ones that are most active in the commercial sexual exploitation are kids who are runaways. That is the children who are most active are runaway children, and they get involved with a pimp, somebody that they consider more their boyfriend than somebody that they work for, and the boyfriend puts them to work on the street in order to earn money. There are hundreds of thousands of them. Some of them are actually still living at home, and they're being run by their boyfriend as a prostitute on the streets.
It's amazing. And before we finish today, I do want to ask you about how we effectively try to stop this and get control of it, because, of course, it is a big problem. Now, one of the things that you say in your latest article at the Illinois Family Institute is that you're concerned that this is becoming a political issue, right? You've got kind of people lining up on both sides here, and some people are saying that, people who are criticizing the Sound of Freedom movement are minions of this evil cabal trafficking children, and so it's kind of being turned into a political football, and you say that's really inappropriate, that protecting children should not be a political issue. Talk about that.
Well, no, it shouldn't be a political issue. The job of everybody is to protect children. So the idea is to find the best way to do it, and to misrepresent the problem internationally and certainly nationally, the way Sound of Freedom does, directs our attention away from where the real focus should be, which is right where we are. We have everybody. You don't have to send money to somebody to be able to protect children. You can do it yourself right in your own communities, because there's plenty of opportunities to do that. Of course, the biggest way to protect children is to prevent them from becoming sexually active in the first place, which means we have to do a better job of desexualizing our culture, because throughout our culture, children are becoming more desensitized to sexual activity. They're being encouraged to engage in sexual activity through what they see on TV, from the movies, even in the sex education materials that they're getting in schools. Some of the more extreme sex education that's becoming more popular throughout the country now even encourages children to experiment sexually in same-sex and opposite-sex relationships. So you can see this acceptance of younger and younger kids becoming involved actively in in sexual activity, and that's one of the things that the whole community can focus on, preventing the acceptance, this ready acceptance of children being engaged in things that they're really not prepared to engage in. The other thing is just to be aware of some of the signs of who the predators are. You have to know what predators look like, how they operate. They aren't as in the movie Sound of Freedom necessarily these mysterious evil people out there somewhere. They're really people that are all around you. Sometimes, in fact, they are people that hide in plain sight, that you have no idea who they might be. They tend to gravitate wherever children are, whether it's in churches and schools, in any kind of in sports activities for kids. Look at Larry Nassar, who was the gymnastics coach. You had Jerry Sandusky, who was involved with the youth. He had that Second Mile organization, and he worked with youth. They appear to be decent, nice people, and you have to learn how to recognize what the signs are when somebody might be a potential danger.
Yeah, and I definitely want to get into that before we finish here today. How can parents help protect their kids? How do you recognize threats? And of course, how do you raise up your children with the right values to try to help them not fall into that? But I do have a question for you. You know, one of the things that kind of came out of the Sound of Freedom brouhaha, if you will, and you know, I guess awareness of this, or at least suspicion of this, has been growing. Is that there are people in high places that are involved in this? You know, we had Senator Nancy Schaefer in Georgia, who alleged that, you know, even certain government officials in the child protection services were involved in trafficking children through this horrible system. You had, of course, the famous BBC pedophile Savile, who started like a children's hospital. So you've got these people in high places in society that normally would escape suspicion. How big of a problem is that? Are there people in high places trying to cover this up, trying to deflect attention? What do you think?
Well, there's people in all walks of life that are predators. Yes, it's just like any other criminal. Criminals aren't at a certain level in society. They can be at every level of society, and that operates with these child predators as well. I don't see any evidence that there is for my whole career, I haven't seen any evidence that there is a cabal of shadowy figures running around in places of power that are covering up the massive sexual exploitation of children. It would be easier to deal with if that was the case. When we first got the investigation back in the 70s to look into the commercial sexual exploitation of children, we got it because it was believed that organized crime was involved in it, which is a very large, well-connected group of people in the United States that had the ability to evade prosecution and had the power to protect their own operations. And they were able to bribe law enforcement, bribe judges, keep themselves from being prosecuted. So since our organization specialized in organized crime, they gave it to us. We very quickly found out that wasn't the case, that there are networks of predators, but they're networks based on relationships. They're more of a social kind of operation. Like anybody else, predators tend to be social. They seek out opportunities to form relationships with like-minded people. The ability of these people to form vast networks today is far greater than it was in the 70s, primarily because of the internet. They have operations now that have tens of thousands of people that are engaged, that are involved in online networks of predators that trade pornography back and forth and trade children back and forth. You don't need to have people in high places to protect that kind of operation, because the sheer size of it alone and the secrecy of operating on the internet helps keep them hidden. One of them, several years ago, there was an operation called boylover.net that was broken up by international law enforcement that had 70,000 members that were trading child pornography back and forth, and also children. There were people that would go around all over the world, take their kids with them all over the world, and sell them to the other people. That they would allow them to be filmed. They would have sex with other kids. They'd have sex with the adults. So this network was identified, but to date, out of the 70,000 members, only 184 have been prosecuted because of the difficulty of making cases against those predators. So the problem is huge, and there's thousands of networks just like boylover.net. So the problem is very large and very difficult to make cases. So really, the reason that I got involved and started the Truth Alliance Foundation was to find a better way than simply rely only on law enforcement to knock them out. You can't lock up your way out of this. You can't arrest enough people. You can't make enough cases against them to have a long enough impact on preventing the problem. Plus, we're creating more and more predators all the time. With the sexualization of our culture, we are raising predators. Virtually all of these predators have been victims themselves. We don't even know what percentage of these victims wind up to become predators later on in life. But at the very least, the least that I've seen as an estimate of them is 6%, and ranging all the way up to 50%. So when you realize that if 6% of victims wind up becoming predators themselves, and the average predator sexually abuses 150 kids in their lifetime, each predator is creating nine more predators. That's an incredible amount of incredibly huge problem, and you're not going to do it by locking everybody up. You got to do it by preventing it.
Yeah, it's horrific. We're almost out of time, but one of the things that I've noticed, the social media companies, the big tech companies, they are masters at silencing people who ask too many questions about the COVID vaccine or don't trust the 2020 election. I mean, you post it, it's down, right? You're banned, you're shadow banned, you're blocked, whatever. And yet there are these networks, as you just talked about a moment ago, where people are trading these images back and forth. I mean, Facebook, this has been a huge problem. A lot of these big tech companies seem to struggle, I guess, with trying to take down these networks of perverts who are trafficking in pornography of children. What do you think's going on with that? Why haven't they been able to get a better handle on this?
Well, because I think our government and governments all over the world are loath to go after and prosecute under the obscenity statutes. I don't see any reason why the government can't shut down a lot of these pornography sites that are easily available to people. Why aren't there more obscenity prosecutions? In 42 states, why are teachers and librarians exempt from prosecution under the obscenity statute? Why is that? It's because there is this big movement in the United States to remove the age of consent and to encourage children to experience sexual pleasure. The international sexual rights of the child state that every child has a right to experience sexual pleasure whenever and with whomever they want. These ideas are being promoted by large organizations. Planned Parenthood is one of the leading, International Planned Parenthood is one of the leading organizations to promote the sexualization of children. And we're tolerating that. And that is a huge problem internationally. It's not just in the United States, it's all over the world.
Yep. We're down to just about 1 minute left, but real quick, I want you to tell the folks how they can find your information, your website, but some quick tips for parents and adults. How do you protect children from predators who may be in our midst?
Well, you have to be engaged with your kids. You can't just simply trust teachers or coaches or whatever. You have to be actively engaged with them. Predators won't go after kids whose parents are involved. They go after kids who are more vulnerable, who are isolated, who don't have many friends, whose parents are distracted by other things, and they don't go to their games, they don't go to their activities at school. So if you remain interested and engaged with your child and also monitor what they're doing online, your child's probably going to be pretty safe. And you can find information about us on the internet, Truth Alliance Foundation, all one word, .org.
Well, really appreciate you coming on with us. Thank you very much for what you're doing here, Thomas. Hugely significant issue. We appreciate your time. Thank you again for coming on.
Thank you.
All right, folks. That was Thomas Hampson, founder of the Truth Alliance Foundation, specializing in this very issue. I want to thank you for tuning in. I also want to encourage you folks, go to mypillow.com, use that promo code Newman. There's some great stuff there right now. You know, the 20th anniversary limited edition queen size MyPillow, normally $70. Right now it's $19.98 if you use that promo code Newman. It's amazing. It's actually what I sleep on every night. They got the king size. It's on sale right now for $29.98 if you use promo code Newman. You can save 25% off your kitchen towels. You've got all-season slippers, regular price $149.98. With the promo code, this is a closeout sale, $25. I'll tell you what, my wife wears these all the time, just absolutely loves them. We've got bed sheets on sale for as low as $29.98 if you use that promo code Newman. And coffee, the My Coffee, which I have really enjoyed, is just a great product. You can save up to 50% off and get a free My Pillow, a Go Anywhere My Pillow, if you use that promo code Newman. And that's all at mypillow.com or mypillow.com/Newman. You can also go check out mystore.com for some additional incredible deals. Tomorrow, we have another great episode coming up for you. I hope you will be tuning in. We'll be back for you with another excellent guest. I'm not sure if we've had him before. Bishop E.W. Jackson, just a great American. And then after that, I'll be flying away to do all kinds of fun stuff, so we'll keep you updated. But thanks again for tuning in to the Sentinel Report. Check us out at libertysentinel.org. Get subscribed to the Substack. If you haven't yet, just put your email in. We'll send you our weekly newsletter for free. You can support us that way if you want to. Also go to franksocial.com. You can follow us there. Thanks again for watching. Alex Newman here for the Sentinel Report. Until next time, God bless you all.
Over the last 20 years, with all your support, we've been able to not only launch the original MyPillow, but also the MyPillow mattress topper, Giza Dream bed sheets, My Slippers, and the MyPillow bath towels. But there's so much more. In fact, we have over 200 products, and I'm so confident that you'll love each and every one of them that when you go to mypillow.com now, you'll immediately receive a free gift valued at $20 just for checking out the website. No purchase necessary. Get everything from MyPillow blankets, sleepwear, kitchen towels, mattresses, duvets, pet beds, body pillows, comforters, couch pillows, bathrobes, and so much more. So go to mypillow.com or call the number on your screen. Use your promo code to get deep discounts on all MyPillow products. And remember, just for checking out mypillow.com, you'll immediately receive a free gift valued at $20. No purchase necessary. This is a limited time promotion, so go to mypillow.com now.
Taken TV is making TV watchable again. Join us on the Active Kingdom Entertainment Network. Download Taken TV from your App Store now.